Morning, 9 a.m. in New York City. This is a mini member workshop live stream, and this is the first little 15, 20 minutes hello to the world while Michael and I kind of talk a little bit about what we're going to do. And then afterwards, members of Syncopated City, we're going to go into our member forum Zoom thing and talk about stuff. If you're out there, please say hi in the comments. Give us a hello. Let us know what time is it for you. It's early for me. I shouldn't complain. 9 a.m. is really not that bad. But when you go to bed at 1, it feels early. Anyways, let's see here. Let's give Michael Jagger a call. Wow. Yes, it's early for me, folks. Let's give Michael Jagger a call. Michael Jagger a call. I think he should be awake. It's only 11 p.m. for him. Is that right? Yeah. He's on the other side of the world right now. There he is.
Hello.
Good morning, Michael. Actually, good evening to you.
Good.
I'm gonna wait for just a second while we let your image and sound come through. Man,
Um,
I do hear
hello.
you. I do hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Let's get a
And I
better.
think I got your image there. Oh, we see your hand.
There you go.
Hi, Michael. Good morning.
Good morning, evening. How are you doing?
I'm tired.
Man, I need to get a Michael hat.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm feeling like I need a little bit more special energy, I put on
Ah,
my special Evita hat. Hi, Robert. Robert Clifford, he says, "Hi, Evita. Hi, Michael. Hi,
hello,
Robert." Very cool on the YouTubes. Um, Tatsuo, good morning. He says, "Good morning, Evita. Good evening, Michael. It's 10
Ohio
p.
gozaimasu.
That's right. It's 10 p.m. in Japan. It's great. Thanks for tuning in. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So Michael, what are we going to talk about today specifically?
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna energize myself as well, but I'm gonna do it with a Tim Tam chocolate stout
Oh,
from a
well,
local
I've
brewery.
this is basically the same thing. This is like really strong coffee. So there you go. Good morning. Good evening.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Um, I thought today it would be fun to talk about step creation. Um, Basically, I'm just curious to know how you what process you go through, and for anyone who's watching, what process they go through when they want to create a step.
You mean like you
Especially,
mean you mean like making up a routine or making up anything?
yeah, I think absolutely. I would assume that many people who are at least above a beginner level swing dancer have either felt the need or desire to create their own steps and or have been tasked with it if they have to create choreography. So yeah, you and I know what that process is like, and I'd like to maybe just to talk to you about, because I haven't seen you in a while, so I know you're making stuff up every now and then, and yeah, I just kind of want to know, like, what's your process when you have a blank canvas? What do you do to create a step?
That's a great question, Michael. While I tell you, also anybody out there in the world watching, let us know how you would go about making up a step too. That'd be really cool for us to
Yeah,
hear from you.
absolutely.
Um, I think I think the first approach that I take is just what it feels like in my body. Like truly, oh, it feels good, that kind of a thing, like, oh, that felt good. But I come from a very physical jump into it kind of a place,
Hmm.
and then I figure out after the fact, okay, wait, what are the counts, or what's the rhythm that I need to kind of construct or mold my body and my shape to fit so that it makes sense.
Okay.
I think that would be my first idea, first approach.
Right. That's interesting. Okay. So
Was
I,
that wrong? Was that the wrong answer?
yeah, so you missed the first question. Let's see if you get the second one right. No, there's no wrong answer. Everyone, I know that there are a lot of different ways to go about creating a step. I know for myself, I also think about what kind of shapes I enjoy doing, and I do find that I gravitate towards certain rhythms or certain I've been into a
Yeah.
squat Charleston kind of vibe for a while now, and so I'm like, all right, I really love squat Charleston, and so can I do
Man,
something with that to kind
you
of
love
um,
squat Charleston? Michael, that's such a hard step.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
you
So
you
I also
must be
like
working
walking. Should I
out.
just say again?
You must be working out.
Yeah, yeah. You must work out. um, no, I just that was an example of a step that I have historically kind of gravitated towards. But I think I go through phases. Sometimes I'm really feeling uh, just like I really like fall off the log, but I don't want to do the full thing. So let's start breaking it up. Or I'll take a class from someone, and they'll do a shape, and I'm like, it'll inspire me. I'm like, that's a cool idea. What could I do with it?
Mm, mm.
So for me, my origin point, I feel like it's also what feels good, similar to what you said, but it's not, I don't necessarily feel as organic or self-inspired. I'm not standing in a room and just kind of going like, oh, that's cool. I have really, I don't
Like
trust
this?
myself enough to do that.
Really?
Nah, you know.
Uh, so then your first attack or your first thought when you're creating a step is
Is to take a shape that I already know and
shape.
then see how I can deconstruct and then reconstruct that shape with usually a different rhythmic expression.
Okay. Okay, but your first kind of like coming at it is the shape, almost like the picture.
Yeah,
Huh, cool.
yeah.
Andrew's writing, he says, for me, when I make up a step, I wait for a pause in the music. And when the pause happens, I stop and then I just throw in something that feels good, sort of like what Michael does. All right, cool.
All
Okay.
right.
We've also got hi Bahadir, hi Claudia, hi Cheren. She showed up earlier, and you won't believe this, Michael. Agnes is watching. Ah, I know.
Oh my God.
Maybe
Hi, Anya.
Fred too. I don't know. Maybe Fred too. France in the
Oh,
house.
and
This hat makes me act different.
that's great.
Fred is there.
Oh,
Oh
this
man, I wish
is
I
he
had some
is
rum or wine or port or or
something
something.
or
Except
Tim
at
Tam
9
chocolate
8.
out.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I would love to hear if anybody is watching. I'd love to hear. Thank you, Andrew, for telling us your idea,
Yeah.
and I'd love to hear how other people come up with it. I know a lot of people. They talk about the music first. They say, "Oh, well, it's the music, and it's what the music is doing, and the music inspires me." And then also, some people talk about the rhythm, right? Oh, hey, yeah, Vilner, good morning. Drinking early, Evita? No, it's just coffee. But Michael's drinking a stout.
Mm, mm.
Actually, if Ayala, if you're watching, or really anybody, uh, yeah, the creation of a step, the creation of choreography, like what's your first thing? You know, funny story. There's this routine that I have with three women in these zebra dresses that maybe some people remember. And true story, I came up with that entire number, that entire choreography first because I saw those dresses. There were three of them, and I bought them. They were on sale, and I thought, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna make something with these three dresses. And it was after the costuming, after the look, that I found or decided on the music, and then after that decided on the choreography. And I just think that's like a really it's a fun story because it's so outside the box in terms of how did you create like this routine? So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, Christine, teen. Ah, she remembered those dresses are hot.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
18.
yeah. Hi, good morning. It's not morning for her. What, London? It's a
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful Saturday
Midday.
afternoon.
Midday. Yeah, I think so. The first level, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can go about creating a step or a choreography. I think, some people, again, I think for some people start with like, this feels good in my body. What can I do with this? And others start from the music because the music tells them to do something, which is great. And I think as dancers, or I guess the way I see dancing, I see myself as the physical embodiment of the music. I want to express the the thing that I am hearing, and or responding to it. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to think about dance and movement, but if we go down this music path, I think as jazz dancers, we have a vocabulary of steps that have structure to them, and the way that those steps have been created usually come from um, inspirations from everyday life. So it's during the animal dance fads that have happened throughout human history. It's mimicking animal movement, and then or daily life on the plantation, as African Americans would have done during slavery. There's a lot of different ways that people can be inspired to move based on their everyday experiences. But at some point, these steps have become formed into something with structure, and the structure part is actually really what I'm interested in, because once you find a shape, then you want to put it into some structure so that you can. It doesn't have to be the same every time, but it kind of it's repeatable in a certain sense. And certainly as an oral tradition, when we pass along these steps, there has to be a way that we can codify them to pass them on to other people. And
Mm.
so that's the next idea. Like how do you take a shape and then give it some structure?
That makes me think of, sorry, side note, tangent, but still silly on the topic. There was one year at Swing Out New Hampshire where I taught a beginner's entry level, you've never done solo dancing before in your life
Mm,
class. And I came up with this super simple routine, all based in everyday motions uh, like put your jacket on, or fix your collar, or brush the rain off. And it was like and it was like this whole little jazz routine based on simple, relatable everyday movements. And it was kind of funny and sort of a joke, but not really, because we were dancing by the end, like everybody was dancing. And I feel that that kind of harkens back to this idea of uh, you know jazz steps and movements of the body being
right,
taken from real life.
right,
I also think that I personally could work on that, because I think when I approach dance, I kind of approach it first from wiggle, 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 like that's what I want to do. And I feel that I could enhance myself by sticking to the basics, sticking to the brilliant, beautiful steps that are already present. And that makes me think of, if you're a younger dancer or in an intermediate range, of course, your mind wants to do like the cool, fancy, crazy, tricky, hard, slidey stuff. But really honing in on like the basic groove, or honing in on the repetition of really good basic jazz steps is
yeah,
what will develop you into a more controlled and better solo dancer.
right,
And I am still working on that, because I get so easily distracted. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And it's like,
yeah.
that's a little too far out there.
No, I think that's a really great point, and it kind of that's in my brain. We haven't talked about exactly what we're talking about, so we're not
We're,
following
we're
guideposts,
talking
but that's
about it right
exactly
now.
we're improvising as we speak. This is jazz dialogue, baby. But that's where I'm kind of my brain goes is when I watch either a solo jazz competition or when I've worked with students and or peers and we're trying to build something. It's really tempting to kind of try to be clever and say the most elaborate things because we think that that's what's interesting and impressive. And I actually find more satisfaction and success with simplicity of an idea and the structure of it. So I always encourage students I'm working with when they're working on their solo dancing, even if it's improvised, to really come up with a clear structure for what a step or a shape looks like, with clear counts and moments so that it can be repeatable and you can refine it and make it better.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. We had a big quote from Joe. Hi, Joe S. Man. Hope you guys are
Okay.
safe and well.
So,
He's in the UK right now listening to Juan. They're doing a DJ'd swing thing hop for the NHS right now, which is awesome. I guess fabulous weather there.
I wonder,
But
Joe. I wonder if Joe, if you can hear me, is Mike DJing? He must be. I would assume so. I
oh
hope so.
yeah,
The
yeah.
world needs music.
Aw, yay. But he was asking when creating a new step, what comes first for you? Thinking about it, feeling it emotionally, or just physically doing something or something else? And yeah, I think earlier, Joe, I had said that it's definitely like a feeling for me. And I think Michael said he approaches it from the shape or from like the step first and then playing with it. And that's kind of that's what this whole thing is about. Um, Go ahead, Michael. Were you about to say?
No, I was just thinking about that, and I think we're both describing like different parts of the elephant as blind people. Like I would also say it like the music helps inform what I do. As it like, oh, that sounds like this would be a Susie Q moment, but again, I'm choosing something that feels good to me, but the music's also informing me as to
Yeah,
what makes sense.
of
Um,
course. I mean, the music, listening to the music as an audible experience is also emotional for me. And
mm,
it puts me into a place already, usually
yeah,
subconsciously. Sometimes I'm not totally aware of that. And then yes, the quality of movement, like if it's ding 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 ding, oh, the camera's wiggling. Or if it's like ga to ga chaka ga ta ka chaka like already that groove or that beat, that pulse is going to feel different in the physical body, and then movement arises out of that. You
yeah.
can't, I think it's really strange, or it's an artistic choice to move in complete contrast to the music.
Sure. Yeah, and I don't think, I guess for the sake of this discussion, really what I'm thinking about is kind of, um, I'm thinking about the challenge that we issued to our members on the website for this past week, or you issued it to them
It was the
as
whole
sort
kind
of
of
our
like,
monthly challenges,
yeah, it
right?
was kind of like the whole COVID-19, we needed something to cheer us up.
Right. And so basically, you tasked our members to create a step based on a riff from this song called "The Right Idea" by Charlie Barnett. And and without going into too much detail in the moment, I think for me, what I realized is that even for all the submissions from our members that gave us ideas, there's a wide range within what they submitted, and so I think to all the world out there, what's really for me an important thing to convey to others is that when, like, first of all, improvising is responsive to the music, and it's very rare that you can respond as the thing is happening. You have to have either heard the song before when you're improvising. You have usually, like a good successful improviser will have practiced a step well before it happens, even though it may not come out exactly the same when they're dancing the thing. It's not just like there are far more talented dancers than myself, but I'm trying to fight this idea that some are just God given in the moment can do whatever they want. Like those best improvisers have practiced
Absolutely.
shapes like for hours and hours within like by themselves, and so that when it comes
Absolutely.
time to dance their body knows what to do, but it's not just divinely like all of a sudden it happens out of thin air.
Oh,
And number
yeah.
two, I think good solo movement or good steps are easily digestible, and and if they honor the music, the jazz music, then oftentimes what happens is that you'll have something like three and a break. So it'll have that structure to it, which makes it understandable not only to the dancer, but if you're dancing it for someone else, then that audience can also understand what it is you're trying to express. So honoring the music is important, not just in the moment of what the sax is saying, but the bigger structure of how the saxophone, when it gets its time to speak, to sing, it still plays within a structure within the larger orchestra, and we want to honor that structure musically as well.
Absolutely, Michael. I love that. I love that point about, brilliance doesn't just come. Like it is a built upon, practiced and developed, basket. Oftentimes people call it like the tools in your basket.
Yeah,
And then it is there for you. I love Gail. She says, that is good advice. The practice makes it look improvised and spontaneous. Yes,
right, right.
absolutely. And that's about, training your skill. And then the magic of improvisation, which is, oh my gosh, it just came like in the moment. You know, it's, any magician, like you've got to have, the tricks of the hand practiced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we're getting close to about, that mark of time where, uh, we've been talking to you, the world, everybody who wants to tune in. And we need to go check out our members, and basically what we're going to do with them. What are we going to do with them, Michael?
Well, like I alluded to, you did issue them a challenge to create a step to this specific piece of music, and then what you said was that we would take all of those steps and make a routine out of it. So that's what we've done, and so we're going to work with our members to teach them the routine that we created based on their inspirations, what they submitted to us. And we're going to talk more about how we took their steps and kind of structured them in a way that made sense for the routine to this piece of music. So I'm excited because it's going to be a challenging piece, but it's really fun jazz steps and ideas that they've given us.
So how long is this piece going to be that we're about to teach them?
We've got about two choruses, so yeah, it's a good chunk of music.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I want to do a quick shout out to Mariela from Buenos Aires, because one of our members in Syncopated City, Steph, she found online like this routine that actually Mariela had choreographed. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She works a lot with Juan Villafañe down in Buenos Aires, and so
see,
Steph was really inspired by her routine and was
mm,
studying one of the pieces of footwork that she did. And of course, this song, "The Right Idea" by Charlie Barnett, it's got such a beautiful, catchy riff that it comes back to. And so that then became the member challenge, which was, okay, everybody, come up with your own step that fits that part of the music. And
yeah,
thus we have this collection of steps from our members, which is now going to become a routine.
yeah, yeah.
So that's what we're
So
going to do.
yeah, so I'm excited. I'm not watching the YouTube stuff because I'm just with you on the phone, but thank you for manning that, and hello to everyone. I know I haven't had a chance to address everyone personally, but Avita's been on it. But thank you all for tuning in, and it's great to see you even through this weird medium.
This weird medium, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we're grateful right now to see each other, period, and to talk to
Yeah.
each other, period. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. We gotta go work with our peeps, but stay tuned. If you're watching us
Stay
on YouTube right now, subscribe to the channel so that you can know when we go live later on. Also, this might be coming at you from Facebook. So if you would, please like our Syncopated City Facebook page. And most importantly, check out our website. You know, the thing that like this is all about, syncopatedcity.com. Steve just asked a
Pretty
question.
good.
He says, where is the Zoom link for today for members? Okay, Steve, if you go into, so obviously log into Syncopated City. If you go into the forum, and then there is actually a thread called Mini Members Workshop. In that thread, you can click on today's date and the Zoom link is in there. Julia,
Nice.
so great to see and hear you both. Thanks, Julia. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Michael, you got anything else you want to say?
Just thanks for the love to everybody. Stay safe wherever you are, please, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Awesome. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye.